I love my kids and I want the best for my kids too. And I want to be able to provide for them. But the work-life balance, I didn't really get, I'll be honest with you, until I got a business coach. You have a person literally telling you what you need to do, which you already know what to do. But I'm a people pleaser. And so I hate saying no to people. And so that is one of the biggest things that they taught me. You have to say no or start delegating.
Welcome to a private conversation with me, Steve Robbins. I'm sitting down with some of the biggest names in Indianapolis real estate. I've enjoyed these conversations immensely, and I hope you will too. A big thank you to Executive GM Ian Soroyan and his whole team for hosting us at Cunningham Restaurant Group's Commission Row and Mel's Speakeasy, located in downtown Indianapolis within the Pacer Sports and Entertainment Complex. Check out the show notes to learn more. And now, my conversation with one of the top realtors in Central Indiana, Lindsey Smalling. Right now, in Remington's magazine, you're 5th.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
I'd say so.
Right.
I'd like to be like top 3, but I'm working on it.
Oh, top 3, is that the goal?
The goal would be top. Right now, we're number 2 with Tucker. So, but Matt McLaughlin's number 1, and he's north side, so.
Yeah. Well, how often do you sell on the north side?
Very rare. Very rare.
Okay.
So, we're not even there. Not even on the map.
So where is your territory outside of Morgan County?
Morgan, Johnson, Hendricks, I would say more so. A little bit of Marion County, but not much.
And so you have kids?
3.
How old are they?
12, 10, and 2. We started over.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's a gap. But
yeah.
So what's life like with the kids at home right now? And you're trying to do all this?
Well, we have 2 in travel. So like travel cheer and then baseball, which on the way here I had Game Changer on, like going through because they're in Omaha right now playing. So, and then the 2-year-olds with a nanny.
Were there in Omaha play baseball?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what are the genders of each?
So Paxton is 12, Paislin is 10, and then Punter is 2.
Okay.
So all piece.
Yeah. Where'd the P come from? You're an L.
My husband named all 3 of the kids.
What's
nothing to do with it.
With?
Josh.
Okay. Why P?
I don't know. So Paxton he just came up with, and we rolled with it. So.
And just kept the trend going?
Yes.
So when was it you got started in real estate?
Back in 2009.
And what were you doing before?
I was actually working at a bank and going to IUPUI.
So how did real estate come into your world?
So got married in 2007. And then that year we sold, well, it was September of 2007. And we sold our first house in December of 2007. So I wasn't even in the house 3 months, and we ended up selling that property. But we've moved 12 times out of the last 15 years.
Oh, my God.
So that was like the first thing. But the lady that sold our house actually asked me to come work for her. And I was working as an admin, just doing like little things here and there because we had no kids. And I was going to college. So I was like, sure, why not? So I was doing that, volunteering at St. Francis Hospital, plus working at the bank. Ended up quitting the bank because I was doing like 15 different things at one time.
You still are doing 15 different things.
Yes. So I'm always busy. I would rather be busy than not at all. Like if I wasn't busy, I'd probably be depressed.
Well, so what age it was that you were assistant for?
Like how old was I?
No. Well, how old were you?
Like 20s, early 20s.
And so I'm asking, who was the agent?
The agent, Stephanie Stewart. And she now owns her own brokerage.
Okay. Which one?
The Stewart Home Group in Mooresville.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then, so who was she with at the time?
She was with Keller Williams at the time. So once I was just doing admin work, she actually said, hey, I'm going to pay for you to get your license. She actually paid for me to get my license to work as a buyer's agent because her and her husband and father-in-law flipped houses. So I kind of helped them on the side once I got my license and worked for her literally Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 and finished school at the same time.
That is a lot.
So ended up quitting the bank, had to because I got so busy, stopped volunteering because actually what I was going to school for, they actually told me I wasn't going to be able to do that.
Which was what?
In the medical field, and I ended up having a major shoulder replacement actually.
A shoulder replacement?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Just sports and injury, and I was actually one of the youngest in the state of Indiana to have a shoulder replacement. And so no one wanted to deal with me here in Indiana. So they actually made me go to Chicago. And that was all around the same time that I was trying to finish school at the same time. And I talked to the program chair and she was like, you can't lift. You're not going to be able to do clinicals and do this. And so I remember walking out of IUPY to my car, called my mom crying and saying, basically, they just shattered my dreams. He said, you can't do this. So I was like, what am I going to do with my life? And at that point, I was already in the real estate game and I kind of seen everybody on the outskirts. I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And obviously I see the money like everybody else does. And I actually took the class, took the test, didn't tell anybody, but my mom and my husband, they're the only ones that knew I went and took the test. So I didn't want to tell anybody if I didn't pass it.
You were already an assistant, though.
Yes.
And so just an unlicensed assistant.
Yes.
Okay.
And kind of just did it because she said she'd pay for it. And I called her and I was like, hey, I passed my test. And she's like, what? And I literally did an open house like that weekend. And that's kind of, I just jumped right in.
How long had you known, okay, I think that this might actually be something I want to do?
While I was working there, I kind of knew. I was like, I don't have to lift. I don't have to really do any physical labor. But I love people and I want to be in front of people and I want to help people. I knew I wanted to do that in high school. I waitressed all throughout high school and in college. So I knew I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So, and this was perfect opportunity, helping literally people find their dream home, biggest purchase of their life, and see them happy at the closing table.
Look at how far you've come. And so is she still a mentor?
I see her every so often at like my board meetings and stuff. And, she will give me a hug and always say, you know, we love each other.
Yeah.
So,
well, she has to be proud of
yeah,
you.
she's an amazing mentor. Like everything that, as far as like the stepping stone of how I've created my team is kind of a little back end of what she actually taught me when I was working for her.
So you mentioned your parents.
Yes.
Were they surprised?
No.
They
don't care.
Well, tell me about your parents.
Hard workers.
So you grew up in Morgan County, or where'd you
So
grow
I
up?
grew up in Indy, Decatur Township, but my parents sent me to a private school in Greenwood. So that's where I grew up from kindergarten all the way up. And then my senior year, my parents sent me to Decatur Central High School.
Oh, so you do all the way through your junior year, then you have to make new friends and everything else?
Yes. Didn't really know anybody except for my sister who went in as a freshman. I went in as a senior.
Why the change suddenly?
Because the school just started changing a little bit. And so
Okay.
my parents were like, okay, we're kind of done here. And we had 4 of us. My sister did graduate. So my older sister, Ashley Wright, she's actually on my team. One of my number 1 team members on the team. She did graduate from the private school, but I did not.
Okay.
So
what was it like trying to make new friends?
I was in a culture shock.
I bet.
Like,
because your class size went from what to what also?
size of 12 to like hundreds.
Oh, 12?
12 kids graduated in 2005, the class that I was supposed to graduate with.
So at the end, did it end up being a good experience?
Actually, life-changing experience. I actually opened up my eyes to like the world.
Yeah.
So,
you were kind of cloistered a little bit there.
Yes, very sheltered, and then went out into the real world, which actually got me prepared for college. So I feel like everything happens for a reason. God had a plan. So and look where I'm at today. So back to your parents a little bit. Yes.
So you said they're hardworking.
Yes.
And so what do you take from each of them?
So my parents have always taught us to do our best. So that has also been ingrained. If I'm doing something, I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to half do it. So do our best. They also raised me and taught me to tithe on everything that I literally make.
Okay.
So I have done that since the day I turned 16. I actually got a job. My dad made me get a job. I walked into Chick-fil-A and I said, hey, I need a job. And I got the job on the spot. So started working there and started tithing. So God has literally, and then I had literally someone walk into Chick-fil-A, offered me a job while I was working. They were watching me work.
Doing what?
Working at the mall in Plainfield.
Okay. And did you take it?
I did, because they said I'll pay you $2 and something cents an hour more than what you're getting now. And I was like, heck yeah.
So what was that?
I worked at JCPenney.
Okay.
So, but then I told them I can't work Wednesdays or Sundays because I have to go to church, because that was my dad's rule. Very strict parents, very conservative. And they started scheduling me to work on those days. And so
Oh, really?
at that point I was like, I want to get another job to make more money. So more money. So I started waitressing and I made a lot of money.
Yeah. So you were at Keller Williams for quite a while.
Yes, on a team.
How long were you on someone else's team?
A couple of years. I was on her team.
Yeah. And then what?
Then I got pregnant with Paxton.
Okay.
And so at that point I was like, okay, I'm going to have a baby. It's my first child. I'm young. And I was like, I'm probably not going to re-sign a contract at that time to be on a team. I'll probably just go independent, work a little bit, and raise a child. Well, I got bored, obviously. And I was like, okay, started getting busy too. Not intentional, but God was blessing. So basically at that point I got so busy I had to start a team, because I knew I couldn't do my best and
How much
service
were you doing
people.
in dollar volume at that point?
I mean, not that much, but with a newborn baby, I couldn't do buyers. And then obviously I wanted to focus on sellers at that time and do both. So I was like, I have to get a buyer's agent. So that's kind of what I did.
How hard was it I have a few different ladies in our office that have had babies in the last year or so.
Mm-hmm.
And watching them, some of them the first time moms.
Yes.
And watching them kind of go through that, where work has been the focus, and now they have to balance that in a way they never did before. How hard was it for you?
Tough, because I love my kids and I want the best for my kids too, and I want to be able to provide for them. But the work-life balance I didn't really get, I'll be honest with you, until I got a business coach.
Okay. How did that help?
Because you have a person literally telling you what you need to do, which you already know what to do. But I'm a people pleaser. And so I hate saying no to people. And so that is one of the biggest things that they taught me. You have to say no or start delegating.
Yes.
Or you will get burnout. And I was at that point. I was like, I can't manage a team, my own business, plus my kids, plus my husband. Like, it's tough doing all those things. And you have to learn how to, like, what's most important to you as a person.
Yeah.
And still try to focus on the business too in your life.
So how much were you doing both saying no and delegating, or was it more delegating than saying no?
Probably more saying no. Like, I started to delegate a little bit more. I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. But I have to realize, in anybody in this business, no one's going to be like you. Like,
I know.
I'm, I want it done, and I want it done the right way. And I want it done now.
So what you're telling me is, like, almost every high achiever I've ever met, you're a control freak. Control freak.
A little bit. I guess you could say that. I've never considered myself to be that way, but yes, I would say now that you...
It's one of those things people have to finally admit to themselves. Okay. I mean, you basically admitted to me when you said, no one can do it the way I do it, and I want it this way, and done by this time. And I mean, that's a control freak, but it's not really a freak. I mean, it's just someone who has high standards, and they often believe that exactly what you said, that no one's going to get it done the way I am, so I'm just going to do it.
Right.
But it's letting go of that, and it sounds like, we'll come to this, but it sounds like you've built a team that you trust, that you can't let go
the right
of
people.
Exactly.
Yes. And I've learned, I will say, in the last 5 years, as far as like the decisions of having the right people on my team and who not to have on my team. And like, I am one again. I don't like to say no. I don't like confrontation. So I've had a few people on the team that I've kind of just let stay there that I probably shouldn't for too long. And then after I did say, okay, hey, it's not a good fit, a burden was lifted. Yeah. And I'm like, why didn't I do that like 6 months ago?
Because it's hard.
I know.
And
I just love people. Yes, time, investment. I love people. And I know they have families too. So I'm well aware.
But sometimes you're doing them a favor and they just don't know it yet, because it's just not a good fit.
Right.
And it may not work at all. Or maybe they just need a different situation.
Right, exactly. And no hard feelings. Like, everybody that I've had on my team, I love and adore, and I wish them all the best.
How many do you have on your team right now?
We have 12 licensed agents and 2 full-time admins.
Okay. So you started a team at Keller Williams pretty quickly after you had left a team.
Right after.
Right after.
Yes. Well, my sister Ashley.
She was the first team
So
member.
no, actually Carrie Barkwell. So she called me to sell her house, and she went to my church.
Okay.
I have a lot of church relationships with my people. Like, that's one of my people that I love to serve. But she needed to sell her house, and I helped her do that. And she never had a job, and she needed her job. And I was like, well, why don't you come and help me? So she ended up coming and help me. And then shortly after that, Ashley had a child and was working at Chase, had to come downtown. And I'm like, come and work with us. Like, we need help. We're starting to get busy again. And so she ended up helping me as like admin stuff, and then seeing the money.
Yeah.
And then obviously got her license and stuff too.
Sounds like a path you've seen before.
I've had, I think, 5 now that has done that.
I mean, that's what you did.
I know. I can't complain. I get it.
It works.
And it does. So I just recently in the last year, one of my A+ admins went and got her license, still on the team. So can't complain. And she's doing amazing.
So you were then at Keller Williams for however many more years.
Yes.
A few more years. And why'd you make the switch to Tucker?
To be honest, Joan Loneman, I don't know if you know who she is.
I know the name.
Okay. She approached me, and you have people call all the time, and I'm just like, when I had some struggles and some stuff going on, and that's kind of when you can kind of get it in, and I think she kind of knew I was struggling. I was at a standpoint, like I couldn't get over, like, I think we're at maybe 25 million at that point. And I couldn't get over it. And I'm like, okay, I want to get to the next thing. Like, where's that? And some agents are like searching and like, okay, I can keep working and hustling like I'm doing, but again, getting burnout and whatever. So at that point I was like, okay, what can you, I met with her, and I kept saying no to everybody. And I met with her, and she was awesome. And she's like, we can do this, this, and this for you. And I said, well, I already have a building, because Josh and I had bought a building in Mooresville.
Okay.
I was going to go out on my own, and ended up not, because I'm too chicken.
Well, you are so advised.
Yes.
Don't.
Okay. I watch people that go out on their own, and sometimes I see that they come back, or they're not doing as much business, or I don't know what's going on with them.
You have to do a lot of stuff that doesn't do anything to help grow your business. If you're going to keep selling.
I want to keep selling.
Yeah.
That's my heart. I have team members ask, are you going to continue to sell? And other mentors and stuff. And I'm like, yes, like I love working with sellers. Like that's my heart.
Having a good team is definitely a better business decision than owning a brokerage.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this. So I have 2 business partners.
Okay.
And we started in Indianapolis in 2000. And then we've opened up offices in other places across the city. And then we've grown in Indy to about 300 agents.
Wow. I don't know how you do it.
Well,
because the 12 of us, whew, but we're all female.
First off, I have 3. There's 3 of us. That helps, and then we have a really good team too.
But 300.
I know, and the point being though is there's a lot more. It's a lot more profitable, probably, really, honestly, and just more return on your time to have a team than to own a brokerage.
Right.
Where I was really going with that is you have to have such economies of scale in today's world for it to be a good business,
right,
to own a residential brokerage. And so that's why we're in all these places. That's why we've grown to the extent we have. But being a team, you don't have to deal with all the administrative and legal stuff in the way that, And
that's when I say I was too chicken. Like, obviously, I know I can figure that stuff out. I'm, business savvy that way, too. Like, I could do it, but do I really want that headache on the back end?
You really don't. I promise.
And really, Tucker has promised me all these things and has done every single thing that they have said that they would do for me. And the team dynamic, the way that they have it set up, has really worked for me and my team. And my team, they're all happy. I'm happy, so I can't ask for anything else.
No, you should. So how have you grown in the last few years then, since you made the change? What's been the key to that?
So I will say the first year when we switched over, moving into a new spot, everything's new. You're doing a lot of social media, and so it's just a lot of out there. So people are seeing that. We're growing. put us on the map in Morgan County for FC Tucker, because there's no other FC Tucker offices in Morgan County, but this one in Mooresville that we have. And it has grown tremendously. We have 2 amazing managing brokers. But the team dynamic, as far as like growth, I think has just helped me, just for the delegation part and the systems and procedures that we have in place now. I'm coming in, I'm doing what I need to do, pulling comps on a property. They have the listing stuff ready for me. I think just the back end of the business coaching and the growth in the team that I have all together has just made it the growth where I'm at today.
Right.
And I can actually breathe and spend time with my kids and go to the games when they're not out of state like this, but just because I have 2 other kids. But just the business itself is amazing.
So it was hard with going back to your kids. It was hard when you had the first one, is the balance and everything we were talking about there before. But how much more difficult was it when you added the second and the third? Or had you gotten better at managing it?
I take my kids with me a lot, which is probably not the best professional thing to do. But with Paxton, my grandma helped me a lot. Like, she would literally drive around with him in the car with me.
Okay.
She has since passed away since then. But at that point, we had found an amazing daycare actually in Mooresville. So both of them had gone at that point when I needed some help. Because once they started walking, I'll just tell you a fun fact story.
Please.
Paisley, she was not potty trained yet, and they wanted her potty trained at the daycare before she went there. And she was right there, almost to, like, so close.
Let's do it.
We moved. And then, of course, she, you know how kids are. They're so funny. I was like, she's potty trained, and then now she's not. So I took her to a showing with me in Martinsville, and I had her right by me. She just started walking. She had gotten to a thing of golf balls that was sitting on a fireplace.
Okay.
And she had dumped them down the register.
Oh, no.
I had a heart attack. And at that point, I got in the car. I called my husband. She is never going to showing with me ever again. Has she since, as she got older? Yes. But after that point, I was like, I cannot take the kids with me to places like this. Now, if it's somebody from church, like, bring your kids.
Yes.
Or people that I know, friends, family, that's cool. But no, never again.
It happens.
But the third, when you bring on a third child, and I don't know if it's the personalities or whatever, he's so busy. Like, the first year of his life, I worked from home.
Okay.
Put him on wait list for childcare. Very slim pickings. I'm telling you right now, it's
Everybody's
wait list. So I was on a wait list forever. Finally, Josh actually had a friend's wife that was working at the Goddard School, and she got us in.
Okay.
So that's where he goes now, and then a couple days with an Amy.
Helps out.
I had
like
to
we
do
were
that.
Talking about
Yes.
before.
Yes. But it's good because he is so stinking smart. It's not even funny. Like, and he loves that, and he gets some one-on-one attention, and I can actually get my work done. So I have a plan in place from 8 to 4 when the kids go to school. That is my time to bust everything out that I have to do. Like,
Keeps you
that's
focused and efficient.
Yes. When I go in the office, they know, okay, I'm there to get work done.
Yeah.
So
How easy is it for your team to find time with you because you're busy?
that is a struggle. All the time. Are you coming in today? Like, that's a text.
Right. Yep. 12 plus 2 admins. I mean,
Yes.
that's a lot of people to be the point person for.
Well, and just this weekend, literally, I think it was Saturday morning, I had talked to 3 of my team members. They had called me and asked questions about something. Hey, can you review this offer? Hey, I have a question about this. And Josh is like, does it ever end? And I was like, that's the name of the game. Like, but I enjoy that stuff. Like, I want to be a help. And if I'm in an appointment or busy, they will call one of the managing brokers, and they know that, hey, these are your point of contacts if you can't get a hold of me. But I love to help people learn. I mean, a new agent just joined our office, and I was literally helping them with social media stuff. And one of the managers was like, thank you for doing that. And I was like, no, I love to do it. Like, I enjoy that. I try to help people. That's what I was born for.
We're doing that every day.
Yeah, we are.
Commission Row offers an unforgettable dining experience with high-quality steaks, a raw bar, and exquisite seafood curated by an expert culinary team. The menu, designed to delight every palate, features seasonal ingredients paired with an extensive wine and spirit selection. Open weekdays from 4 p.m. and for brunch at 10 a.m. on weekends. Continue the evening at Mel's Speakeasy below. After dining, enjoy an after-dinner drink with a wide selection of wines, cocktails, and spirits. Open daily from 5 p.m., Mel's is perfect for relaxing and unwinding. Commission Row and Mel's Speakeasy. An unforgettable dining experience awaits.
So, what advice would you have for someone who's just starting a team?
Just starting a team. The right people matters. Like, make sure. I've had a couple agents that I really wanted to be on my team, to be honest. And I was like, you know what? I want to see what you do first year in the business. And I watched them. And if I don't get that, hey, I want them on the team right now. Like, I have to have them. Or I've never went out and recruited. I think that's also another thing. Like, if you're wanting to start a team, let them come to you. Like, don't go out and try to find somebody, especially real quick. Like, I prey on everything. And I think sometimes my team actually gets upset with me because I take a minute to find the right admin. Like, I want the right people in there to service my team too. Like, and the 2 girls that I have in there right now, amazing, A+. I wouldn't have anyone else in there.
And what's the vision you communicate about what you want the team to represent?
To do their best, ethic, morally, everything to that. Be honest and true and help your clients out. Do your best. Like, if it was you, how would you want to be treated?
Exactly.
I mean, I have agents on my team. If I was not in real estate, I would use them to sell my home. And that's what I wouldn't want Joe and my team. That I wouldn't even use you to sell my home, but you're on my team.
Right.
So I just want good people.
When Mike Deck was sitting in that chair, we talked about the golden rule versus the platinum rule.
What's the platinum rule?
Well, that's
I don't even know what that is.
Well, a lot of people don't. But so obviously the golden rule was do unto others as you would want done unto you. But the platinum rule is do unto others as they would want to be done unto. Meaning don't treat them the way you want to be treated, but treat them the way they want to be treated. Because the way I want things might not be the way you want.
True. That is true.
And I definitely subscribe to the platinum rule.
I like that.
Yeah, it's helpful to... Don't get me wrong, the golden rule has its heart in the right place.
Right, but we're all different.
Yeah, we're all different. Yeah. So what advice would you have? And this is really important. I think hopefully some people that are listening to this or watch this, I'm sure some will fall into this category. And what advice then do you have for a new agent that's just kind of starting to get going?
To come into the office every day, Monday through Friday. Not really necessarily on the weekends, but Monday through Friday. Watch the people that are actually producing or doing business. Like, what are they doing? Because that's kind of how I'm still doing. Still as of this, I mean, yeah, you said we're top 5. But do you know what I'm still doing? I'm still going to masterminds. I'm still listening to podcasts. I'm still doing trainings. Like, I'm still doing all the things. And also to revolve with what year we're in. So we're in 2024, people. Don't do 1990s stuff. Like, be in with the times. Like, but these new agents need to come into the office. A lot of them want to sit at home and watch Netflix and watch Selling Sunset and whatever real estate show you were just talking about. Yeah. It literally, that's what I feel like they want to do. But you need to come into the office. I have checklists for all of our new agents, literally task checklists. Hey, this is what you need to start doing. Hey, another thing for new agents, go in and get on homes.com, realtor.com, all these feeder sites that you can go on for free and make a profile. ChatGPT, whatever you need to do. Make that profile. I just got 2 leads from homes.com for free. I don't pay anything for homes.com.
Absolutely.
Because people are looking, okay, Mooresville, Indiana. If you don't have a profile, they're not going to find you.
Exactly.
So those are like big key things. Go into the office, see what the producers are doing. Also, ask questions. I have so many agents that don't want to ask questions because they think they know it all already. I asked a ton of questions, probably so much that Stephanie probably thought it was like, stop asking questions. But that's how I learn. Like, and I watch people too, and always have. So and if they're at home laying on the couch or whatever, they're not going to see like what people are actually doing in this business. And that's when I think those are the people that give up and fizzle out.
It's not a glamorous job.
It's not.
If you're watching HGTV or...
It's all lies.
Yeah, 99%. I mean, if you get to that level, and you're getting to a level where there might be a little bit more glamour to it some days, but just getting started, I mean, it's
tough.
Hard work. You're starting your own business.
I set those expectations for my new agents, though, too. Like, this is not, we're just going to open the door for you, because that's how I feel. People think that that's what this business is, but it's a lot of back-end stuff. it is a lot of emotion too that you have to control.
Yeah.
Like I get very upset if I don't get a listing, if I'm competing against somebody, or when we mutual release on a deal, because I work so hard. And you can ask anybody on my team, I will like think of every option that we possibly can do before we get to that point. So I will not give up.
We mentioned podcasts.
Yes.
What podcasts you listening to?
I just got a bunch of randoms. I listen to stuff in the car. Depends on my mood, because if I'm like, I need music or do I need podcast motivation? But it's a lot of motivational stuff, or just like learning of what's going on in the real estate world outside of Indiana. I like to learn about, just because sometimes, let's say California and the states over there are a little bit more up to date than what we are here.
Yeah.
So I kind of like to watch, especially on social media. I'll get on people's Instagram and stuff and watch and follow them that are out of state.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's actually been one of the biggest benefits of us having offices in the West and the East.
I'm sure.
Is, I've said this 100 times, but we're the last to know in Indiana. You know, like things happen here last.
Yes.
And so what's happening in California or New York or Florida or Arizona is definitely more up to speed than we are.
Agree. And that's the reason why I got the business coach. I did it with Tom Ferry.
Yeah.
And obviously they're based out of that West Coast area.
Yes.
And so I do feel like the business coach helped with that. Like, hey, this is what people are doing here. This is what you guys need to start doing. Just like, I mean, back in the day, the professional photography stuff, we started doing that first. The social media stuff, we started doing that. And then gradually you start seeing all the other agents around the area starting to do it.
How's social media been working for you?
Love social media.
What do you, because some agents are just so
anti.
So how are you, what do you love about it?
I personally love just to get out there because it's just a touch for people to know, hey, this is what I do. And also I share a lot of my family stuff, and I just started running and doing some things like after I had PK. So just for people to see me, like, no, trust me. Oh, she's cool. I want to use her. So I get a ton of business from social media, more Facebook than Instagram. But some of the younger agents on my team, they get more off of Instagram versus Facebook.
Right.
So it just depends.
Is anyone using TikTok?
Yes, I have several agents using TikTok.
Is that working for them?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of like old people Facebook, not so old people Instagram, and then young people TikTok.
Oh, yeah. One of the younger, we need to start doing more. The Smiling Group page needs to do some on TikTok. I was like, well, we created something, but I didn't know, like, what to do, how to do it. I really don't have time to manage that. So we started doing just a couple little things. So, and it has helped.
You mentioned, I'm the exact same, by the way, where you might be in the mood for a podcast or you might be in the mood for music. And I'm a huge music fan. And podcasts have unfortunately kind of taken away from me doing other things sometimes, like reading or listening to music. But music's so important. I make sure that I push it. So what music do you like to listen to?
I like everything. Like, if I'm in like a very emotional mood, I'll listen to like Christian Caleb music.
Okay.
Or if I'm like running and stuff, it's like rap.
Okay,
so
awesome. So who are your favorite artists?
I really don't have like favorite. I mean, obviously I like Morgan Wallen right now, but that's because everybody does. But like my playlist is just like what I listened to running yesterday. I literally put in 2,000 hot hits or whatever, and it just is a playlist that will go on my Apple Music. So from like back in the day, which I feel like the music back in the day is different than now, but yeah.
You had mentioned your sister a couple times, and when we had spoke before, you said she was really helping you with some things that were, you felt like she was more comfortable doing.
Yes.
And so how's she helping you there?
My sister Ashley is very direct. Like me, I'm back behind the scenes. I would like to learn, pray about it. So she's like, right now, let's go, let's do this. She has actually helped me get out of my shell a little bit, because she is one, like people will ask me, hey, will you do mastermind? Will you do this? And I'm like, I will say no, just because it's just not my thing. But I'll do it. And when she goes up and does these panels, like they even asked her to do a panel in Las Vegas, and she went and did it and did awesome. Everybody loves her. She'll tell you how it is. Like me, I'm just a little bit more reserved, but she's helped me though. Like think about the business inside the business. Like if we're like not as busy, hey, we need to work on our website. We need to work on this stuff. Hey, this. She does that kind of stuff on the back end and will bug me to do it to help for the team. So it's actually been a good help, even though I'm like, I hate when she tells me what to do, but she's right.
Right. She is your older sister.
She is. Yes.
When I called you to ask if you'd be on the podcast here with me, the show, you told me that you had a goal to do 5 things,
Yes.
stepping out of your comfort zone this year.
Yes.
And that this would qualify as one of the 5.
This is one of the 5, yes.
And so when did you make that goal?
So everybody knows like that I don't like to do things like people ask me to teach a class, do this. I want to help people learn, but I would more like to do that on a one-on-one instead of like a big class where everyone's staring at me. I don't like it.
Right.
But the last couple of years, like I've helped Remington Ramsey. I've been on a couple things for him, and I've done a couple things after saying no multiple times, and then he gets me to do it. But I just created that goal, like, Lindsey, you really need to do this. The position that I'm in, I really need to be doing more of these things. So I need to be a big girl and just do it.
Why'd you say yes to this?
Because first off, I wanted to meet you.
Thank you.
So
I wanted to meet you too.
and so I can fulfill my goals. If I make a goal, I will fulfill it. I promise you that.
What other ideas do we have in mind to check off the other 4?
So I also want to go to a school and basically teach a class about real estate.
Okay.
I just taught a class up on the like north side to a whole office about listing presentations. Have been asked to do that multiple times. I've said no, and I finally was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I also did another panel on the west side that I've done this year too.
How's your confidence growing from having done this?
It's better. Like before, I was like so scared I would be sick. Like I was sick last night and this morning, like stomach sick. But
Because of this?
yes,
How are you feeling right now?
better. Like
Yeah.
you're cool, you're relaxed.
I
Okay, so this is another thing. I don't like it when people ask me a question and I don't know the answer.
I know. I get that.
So that is part of my, like, these podcasts, like, what are you going to ask me? So I'm over here, like, stewing on, okay, what's he going to ask me? What if I don't know the answer?
I
That's
totally
good.
understand that.
So,
But it's my goal with this is to not surprise people with trick questions and just have it feel like, we're just talking
yeah, and I love that.
and getting to know each other.
Yep.
I mean, to me, that's what's important.
Yes,
And
very cool.
A lot of people know the name Lindsey Smalling, but how many people know the person?
Right.
And they will now, maybe.
Awesome.
If anybody watches this, I have no idea.
I think I'll have some
Maybe
people.
your team will.
Yeah, they definitely will. I literally,
What did you tell them?
I don't tell them. Usually if I
They
do
don't
it,
know
no,
they're
I
doing
don't tell
this?
them.
Oh, shoot.
No, like, wait, what did I do? Oh, the Remington Ramsey thing. I
Yeah.
didn't tell anybody. Like, and I'm like, I hope they don't see it on Facebook because then they're going to show up. Or they say they're coming. I'm like, please don't come. Or I'll tell, like, the office manager, schedule something during this time, please, so they don't know.
Okay, we need to, let's put
So this
number
might get
6.
out on social and they'll probably find it.
Well, it will, but not quite yet. So I'm meeting with you, and then I have one with Alex Montagano.
Yep.
And then I'm going to start releasing these.
Okay.
I mean, really, only a handful of people know I'm even doing this.
I love it. Like, you have an awesome opportunity.
Well, it's fun because I get to meet people. Some of the people I already know.
Yeah.
But I get to meet people that maybe I know a little bit and get
Right.
to really know them maybe. And maybe everybody else does too if this all works out right.
Right.
So what class do you want to teach at? What school are you thinking of?
I mean, I would love to. So right now, my goal this year is I'm trying to get into the Center Grove market because that's where we moved to.
Yeah.
So obviously the Mooresville, Morgan County market, obviously we've grown so much, like people know who the Smalling Group is, but it also has taken 15 years, to create that monster. So it's like, okay, how do I get into a new market? So that's so right now I'm meeting with Donna Krebs, our obviously vice president of the company. I'm meeting with her once a month and she's trying to like coach me on how to actually get into a new market quicker than trying to build it for 15 years. But how do I do that? So I would like to maybe do like Center Grove schools just because I have been like volunteering and doing some things at
Like
the
at
school.
high school?
Yeah, I would like to do high school.
Okay.
And I wouldn't mind doing that in front of high school kids. It's like the adults that I'm like scared to teach it. in front of.
Right. I understand that. Yeah.
Like, if the high schoolers like me, great. If not, whatever.
Well, you're pretty likable. So, what are you gonna teach?
Just like real estate 101. Like, I actually, my daughter does the travel cheer. There's actually a Center Grove cheerleader junior in high school. I actually took her to cheer because it was actually in Plainfield. So I was driving back and forth 5 days a week to Plainfield. And one of the girls lives like right around the neighborhood. And she's like, hey, will you take her? And I told her sister, yeah, I'll take her. So she would always ask me, so real estate, like I really want to do real estate. So we would talk about going to the gym because I told her that I'm running and going to the gym. She's like, oh, I started going to the gym. So we'd start talking about that. But she'd always ask me questions about real estate. So
What kind of questions, by the way? So
like, what do you do? She always would hear me on the phone. So after I get off the phone, like, and my daughter gets so mad, we can't listen to music on the way to cheer because you're on the phone the whole time. I'm like, I have to take it. So like, I get off the phone and she's like, so was that a seller or buyer? And so I would say it was a listing that they want me to come. So what do you do at a listing? Try to just explain. Because when I was in elementary and junior high and high school, I don't remember ever seeing real estate signs or even paying attention to what that even was at all until obviously college, like getting older. And then I was like, okay, I probably should start thinking about these things, buying a house. No one ever like taught us that. So
yeah, I feel like my parents were dragging me through open houses quite a bit.
see, I never did that. I think one time we looked at a new construction with TK Homes.
But you said you moved 10 times the last 12 years now?
Since I've been married. I grew up in the same house my entire life.
So you didn't move at all when you were a kid, but now you're moving every year.
Yes.
Why is that?
To my husband, everything's for sale but me and the kids. Right. So we were flipping houses before we had kids too, like before we started like having the two littles. And then we decided, hey, we're going to build a house. Well, we did that, built our home on 6 acres in Mooresville. That was fun, being pregnant and doing all that. And then someone knocked on our door and said, hey, I want to buy your house cash. I was gone at a baseball game. My husband sold it. And then after that, we moved into a couple rentals, and then we moved into a house, remodeled it, and then sold it. And then, so just kind of, but where we're at now, we're staying as far as the Center Grove area. So that's where that's why I want to build it up in that area.
Yeah. Well, where were you right before that?
Mooresville.
Okay. So now, and your kids are now going to get established in school.
Yes. Yes. So I have 2 in middle school now, and then the 2-year-old that goes to school in Center Grove.
Yeah. Well, Center Grove's a great area.
We love it so far.
Your business.
Yes.
What kind of, I mean, you mentioned right there in the beginning that I had said you're 5th in the city right now on the rankings, and that your goal was top 3.
Yes.
Why is that the specific goal?
So I know, obviously, where we're at on the map as far as like Morgan County. Average sales price is not what Northside is.
Correct.
Matt McLaughlin can maybe do 1 deal to my 4 deals. So it would be very tough unless I grew my team so big to be number 1, number 2. Now, a lot of these number 1, number 2s are new construction too. Yeah. Which I feel like you really can't count. So really, where am I at?
Well, why doesn't that count?
Because like, they're just putting specs in the system. Are they really selling real estate?
Taking the listing, the builder specs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I help out with Ryan Homes. Like, don't get me wrong, but if that's all you're doing.
Takes those out, though.
Sometimes.
Okay. You might know, but Warren May.
I look at the numbers.
Okay.
I literally called Remington. I said, listen, you missed this one? No, I'm just kidding.
People do. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Some of the numbers, though, sometimes don't add up.
Right.
So
it's that is hard, probably.
It is hard.
Keep it perfect. So, but Center Grove will make a difference.
Higher price point.
Definitely.
So that's kind of, and I'm there, so why not? So that's where I would kind of like to get more into Johnson County.
Have you always been this goal-oriented?
Always.
Were your parents like that?
I don't know. They really never said anything to me, but I think they know, like, just because, like, I have my running goals and stuff, like, everyone's like, you're crazy. Like, who runs for fun? That's the only time I can actually get away from real estate and life.
Meditate a little bit.
Is to run and listen to my music and not think about a single darn thing. So, but yeah.
How often do you do that?
How often do I run? I try to run every day, but if I can, it's 5 days a week.
How far?
Depending on the day. So you can ask anybody. I usually have clothes in my car. So if I have literally 2 hours, I'm going to go to Mooresville Park if I'm at the, Mooresville office or whatever. But It just depends. If I can squeeze in a good 30, 45 minutes, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
So, but I just did the mini. That was fun. I did that again. So I have goals to do like 5Ks and stuff. Those are always just fun to get out and do by myself.
Yeah. So, still on your parents, or they realize how well you're doing?
I think so. Yes. But my mom and dad are very proud of me and my sister.
That's really where I was going.
Yeah.
They should be.
Yeah.
Well, when you look back at everything you've done so far, what are you most proud of?
You know, from where I like grew up and where I came from, like coming from a little tiny Christian school, like, and then I look at me and my sister, but it's all because of hard work. It's not because, you know,
You earned it.
and it's really, I don't even know if it's like, I said, it's all about connection sometimes,
Yeah. That helps.
but I promise you, like, it has to do with the Lord Jesus. Like, he's blessed literally me. And I tithe off of every deal that I close. Like, that's the first thing I do is tithe. Even the girls that I have on my team, when they close a transaction, I get paid off of it.
Yeah.
The way that I have my contract set up, I pay off their deals too. Like, that is because I wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for the Lord Jesus. I'll just say that. But hard work and being persistent and disciplined, like,
That helps.
yes. Like on vacations, like my mom doesn't understand. Like, put the phone away. Like, this doesn't work that way in real estate. If I don't answer, they will call somebody else. But she knows how hard we work. Like, my mom really, like, she always says stuff. And my mom and dad both are like, and my dad, he just retired, like, in December. He's been helping me put out signs of lock boxes and helping me. He helped me clean out a house literally 2 months ago on a house that had a list of people who were out of town. And I said, hey, I got a guy that will come clean out your garage. And he Venmoed me the money and I paid my dad. So
You mentioned discipline there, and I was thinking about that as it relates to the advice you were giving for new agents. And I think discipline or lack thereof is the biggest reason why most new agents don't make it. One of the things I like to tell new agents, and who knows whether it sticks or not, but if you work as hard for yourself as you would for somebody else, I mean, if you actually have a 9-to-5 type deal, you have to show up or else you get fired.
right.
For here, unless you're on a team with a team leader that's really holding you accountable. Or
Right. Yes,
you-
we have minimum standards to
Good.
be on the small group team.
Yes.
Yes.
But for a lot of new agents, they don't have that.
Right.
And so they're,
Get an accountability partner,
I know.
you know? And that's why I got that business coach. Like, we know what to do. Like,
Yes.
as an agent, I can give you, here's a list of everything that you need to do. Doesn't mean they're going to do it.
I know.
Like, I see it all the time.
And so when you see that on your team, how you mentioned sometimes in the past, you've maybe waited too long.
Yes.
How are you addressing that?
So I hate to cut anybody in the middle of the year. Like, that's, again, we're in a
Okay.
contract.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my thing at first. Well, then obviously the last couple of years I've grown a little bit. Okay, this is not working. Like, this is hurting the vibe of the team.
Yeah.
We've got to stop this.
Oh, yeah.
So that's when I sat down and said, hey, we got to figure something out. This isn't working. And again, sick to my stomach before and after. So those kind of things. But I will tell you, when I first have an agent on my team, you can make a ton of money if you want to, or you can make no money, but I have these minimum standards. Okay. I tell everybody, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it every time.
So true. What are the minimum standards?
2.5 mil would be like minimum standard
Okay.
as far as like production goes. I would like to see 2 units a month.
Right.
So 24 a year. That's like starting off. And if you're going to hustle, I think you can do that because most agents have on my team.
How are these people when they're falling into the standards and what you're holding them accountable to? How are they typically prospecting? Where's the business coming from?
Okay, so open houses, Zillow. So I'm a Zillow fan.
So you're sharing leads that you get from Zillow or
I don't take any of my Zillow leads.
okay.
They go to the team.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I have it set up to where it's literally calling half the team one week and half the team the next week, and we do rotations.
Okay.
And so it calls their phone all at the same time, and whoever answers it gets it.
Right. Yeah. Well, that definitely helps.
But I also have like probably 10 other platforms that I'm using as far as like lead sites that I filter out to the team.
Okay.
I'm only taking listings unless someone specifically asks me for the buy side. So I'm helping them grow their business in hopes that they stay with me too.
Yeah, that was actually my next question is how many people have you had to leave, and what was that like the first time it happened?
So I just had this conversation with, so if someone leaves the team, whether I let them go or they leave on their own, I watch. I will look at their numbers.
You've proven to me already that you're paying attention.
Yes. So I look at numbers, the magazines, my board, all that. But I will tell you 95% of the people that have left, it's been actually a great thing. And are they doing different volume on their own? Yes. So negative, positive, so
I guess what I'm asking.
they would have been more beneficial if they stayed on the team.
Right.
Except I will tell you, there is one gal that did leave. And when she first originally started, she told me, red flag, that she actually was doing this so she could eventually start her own team. And she did, and she's very successful now.
Yeah.
So that was one that I wish I could have kept.
Right.
Because I knew she was really good.
Yeah.
But I knew that I couldn't.
So what kind of, I guess where I was going with that too, and I want to come back to what you just said, but the feeling you get when someone leaves, and I mean, we're big enough where it happens regularly, and at this point I'm kind of used to it, but still there's a little pain involved.
Yes. Oh, always.
And so
It's a sting.
it's a sting. It hurts a little bit.
It's because of the time and money and the investment that you put on this
Yes.
person, and you want them to succeed too. Like, I want everybody to succeed. I'm not competing against anybody but myself. So any team member on my team, anyone that goes away from my team, any agent in my office, like, I want everyone to succeed because there's enough business to go around for everybody.
And where I would agree with you that there's been a handful of occasions where someone was telling me they were leaving and told me where they were going, that I'm like, you know what? I think actually that's a great fit. I think you'll thrive.
Yes.
I think that'll be even better.
Yep. That recently, just in the last 2 months, just happened to me.
It happens.
Was I
occasionally.
very upset at first? Yes. But now I'm like, it was a good thing.
I'm a huge basketball fan, and so what I think about is, and it sounds like you're a sports fan too, but I think about coaching trees and how the best coaches always end up having assistant coaches that go on to be great coaches too.
Always.
Not always, most of the time. And so I start thinking about it in terms of that. Like, I want to see these people.
Right.
If they want to go do their own thing, I'm more power to them. I'm glad I could help get you there.
Yeah.
And that's probably how Stephanie Stewart feels.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yes, I agree.
So, real estate right now, we've been doing this for 24 years, and I just told this yesterday to somebody. We've been kind of waiting for 24 years for the market to get normal. And
Stabilize.
It's never going to get normal.
No.
Like, at this point, I've decided I'm giving up the hope of it ever normalizing.
Right.
So, in our current market environment, how has it been challenging, or how have you taken opportunity in it?
So for me, I just keep hustling and grinding. Like, I don't let the market distract me personally. Has it distracted some of my agents? Yes. Like, they're fearful what's coming and what's going on. But I'm like, if you go in and do your best and do your job, create that value, everybody, it's going to be fine.
It will be.
So I'm always also like more of a positive Polly instead of a negative Nancy. Like, I will find a solution to the problem. But I'm like, we have to adapt to the market. Everybody's going to be adapting to the market, not just us. So just go in and blaze in and do your best. And I just say everything's going to be fine. So
It will be.
learn from past experience, move forward. And so I'm like, just do your due diligence, go to these classes, learn what is going on in the market, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So be consistent. So my word for this year, for 2024, is be intentional in everything that I do.
What does being intentional mean to you?
Like, thinking about it, having that mindset, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm being intentional about this idea or this situation.
Okay. So you've been doing real estate for how long?
15 years.
I guess I'm curious what kind of crazy stories you have from 15 or 16 years. I mean, what's been your wildest transaction?
Oh, goodness.
Do you have any?
I did have a guy this last year tell me that he wanted me to die and bury me in his backyard.
That was nice.
He was going through a nasty divorce, and I was his go-to, his outlet for everything.
Oh, God.
Now, he loves me. Like, he jokes around, he says some things, but I'm like, okay, like, you weirdo. No, I'm just kidding. But
No, I get it.
he was crazy. I had a situation where I had my daughter come help me with some real estate sign and lockbox, and she got bit by a dog, like a dog attacked her. So she's like, I'm
Your
not
daughter
real.
got... Oh, my God.
Yes. So she's like, I'm not. I'm like, you grab the sign, I'll grab the lockbox. Heard her crying. So she's not going to be a real estate agent. She's already told me.
That could change, but maybe not. That's pretty scary.
But I will tell you, in the last 2 years, I've had some really, really like emotional transactions.
Emotional for you?
One very emotional for me. One was just death, like people dying, and then divorce. Like
You mean one of the your client died?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a couple and one of them died, or
It was a single lady and her son, 8-year-old son.
he died too?
Mm-hmm.
Car wreck or something? Oh my gosh. Well, that is emotional.
Yep. So then I had to deal with the parents to list the house. They found my magnet on the fridge and called me.
Wow.
So that I'm not kidding. That transaction itself, you could ask my mom and my husband, because I was emotionally drained like for 2 months.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's tough to come back from.
Mm-hmm. But I wanted to help them. Like,
Yeah.
I really, truly think that God put me in that circumstance for a reason. But we see things in deals like houses, like crazy, like you knew we were coming for a showing and your house is trashed.
Right.
Or
Right.
I always say I could write a book. So
Yeah. Well, what would you have in that book? Like, what else would be
just
something that would be important to share?
I don't know what I would like write in the book. Just like more of like experiences that I've had, just like walking in on people like doing drugs.
Yeah.
You know, or squatters. Like, we had a situation on the team where an agent went to go open a house and someone from the inside of the house pulled the door shut. And they were squatting in the attic. They found buckets, all the things.
Holy cow. So
Just fun. I've had fun in real estate though too.
Yeah.
But I will say, when people think it's just a fun job, it's really not. Like I want people to know that it's physically, like, obviously we don't do too much, but I do help staging and stuff like that. I move dog crates around and blah, blah, blah. But it's not for the faint of heart.
it's not for that.
It's not for everybody.
It's not. Well, we find that out quickly that some people.
I think it's
That's why-
easy to get into, though. And I think that's another reason why we have so
Yeah.
many agents.
Yeah, the barrier to entry is relatively low,
Mhm.
but then the chance of success in the
Right.
first year or two. I mean, the stats are
Oh, yeah.
speak for themselves. Most people don't make it.
Right. Which is sad, because I'm like, I want everyone to make it.
I
Like,
know.
especially if this is your passion and this is what you want to do. Like, I would help someone, like, every day if I needed to, even if they weren't on my team.
I'm still not quite exactly sure I have time for all that.
Because I'm in the office and everybody comes to me.
You had mentioned that when you had your third child that you had worked from home for a year.
Yes.
What was that like?
Boring.
I bet.
Didn't get anything done with a 1-year-old.
And this is after COVID, right?
Yes.
So
These two.
you'd kind of been home quite a bit for that, or for a little while.
I worked through COVID like COVID wasn't even happening, to be honest.
I kind of did too, but I guess
I did my
really,
best year, literally.
in 2020 or 2021.
So 2020 was one of my best years. Then 2021
Yeah.
did better than that.
Yes.
2022, I had the baby. 2022 has been my best year. And that was having a newborn baby. Like, I was hustling that. I mean, I didn't do anything but church, sleep, eat, real estate, family. Like, but I feel like that's my life anyway. But it was like insane.
Something I wanted to ask that something you said earlier made me think about this, but how are you balancing, and I think this is an amazing question for really anybody in real estate that's doing any kind of volume. How are you balancing taking care of your clients with the relationships you build with other realtors?
So my business, okay, is primarily sellers.
Okay.
So that's how I can scale and also balance, I feel like.
Yes.
Because you know that's key in real estate is working with sellers.
Yeah.
So if I'm working with sellers, all the buyers that I get or sign calls, blah, 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 leads off of one listing, I give to my team.
Okay.
So my 8 to 4 hustle and grind. If I have to do appointments on the weekends, I will, obviously, absolutely. But my key would be that time is my work time to bust it out.
Right.
But I have a team where I can literally, if I can't take a listing, I'll give a listing to a team member.
Yeah.
So literally the beginning of this year, 2024, I didn't take anything in January, not a single darn thing. I gave it to the team. Come March, April, was I freaking out? Yes, I freak out every year though.
What were you freaking out about? Because you had not.
Because I wasn't as busy.
You were as busy because you had
Me
been
personally.
handing off. Right.
Yes,
I got it.
and I like to be busy.
Yeah. So you rectified that pretty quickly, probably.
I mean, a little bit. This year has been my year of I want to learn. I want to be in my business instead of working like outside and doing whatever. I'm still doing real estate, obviously, but I'm being picky and choosy this year just so I can be more in the office with the admins to work on my business, my website, the back end stuff that I've never been able to work on. My CRM.
What are you
Like,
using?
it's called Close.
Okay.
And it's with Tucker.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, what's that? How much have you enjoyed working on the business instead of in the business? Or how much are you missing?
I'd rather pay someone to work.
Right. Well, why is it?
Because I want to be out with the people
I
and
can
be
believe
in
that.
front of them.
So why are you doing that right now?
More so to help out with the team, like giving them more business, and just to, I feel like it's just something I need to do right now with the way the real estate market is changing.
Yeah.
So kind of be ahead of the market once it,
Yes.
stabilizes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whatever
Don't wait for
as
that.
it is.
Do not wait for that.
You know
We'll
what I
never-
mean? It's a roller coaster. It always will be.
It will be.
Comes and goes.
So right now with the kids, what's going on with them in terms of
Summer break.
what's that like?
Um,
Or how does that change your
So running kids here and there, I can do that in between appointments. Obviously, I can still work from home, which is great. A lot of the stuff I can literally do from my phone. But it's more of trying to make sure they're still having fun for summer too, while I can still work and make money. But my husband also works from home, so that's good too. So we're kind of just helping each other out and running kids here, there, everywhere. So, like if I want to go run, I take them to the park with me, and I'll literally run with stroller or whatever if I have to. I took all 3 kids to the gym with me last night. So,
my youngest is going to go to college.
Okay.
So he just graduated from high school. So I'm actually going to be an empty nester now.
ooh, what are you going to do?
I don't know. It's one hand, I'm like, okay, that's cool. The other hand, I'm a little nervous about it.
You'll find something to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just all of a sudden such a huge vacuum. I have 3 kids. So, I mean,
Okay.
it's been one at a time, but now 0 kids at home. And having all 3 of them together in the same room is really special at this point.
Right. No, I get that because we literally have something every single day of the week. And recently we took, my daughter, we're taking a break for cheer. And so we have like 2 days out of the week where we're like all together. And just this last week, I was like, do you guys want to go play pickleball? And so that's what we did. We went
cool.
and played pickleball. But I love that time just because I know we won't get that back and they grow up so quick.
They do.
So, and that we're not cool anymore, once they get older.
I bet you guys got to stay cool for a while.
But
So what's the future look like for you and your team? I mean, how do you want it to grow from here, or not even grow necessarily, but evolve?
I've told my team just this year, I am not looking to grow as in numbers. I want to grow within the team. So I am taking a team trip here next month.
Cool.
So we're doing this trip to bond, to reset, to literally when we come back, we're going to guns a-blaze and bust it out for the rest of 2024 is the plan.
Have you done that before?
We've had team trips, but they've been like going to like NAR conventions or going to Tom Ferry events for coaching and blah, blah, blah. It's been more of like work, learning experience. This is just solely fun, like all inclusive.
Where are you going?
Cancun.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So yeah, I'm excited. So it'd either be a good thing or it might be a bad thing.
And everybody's going.
Everybody but 2 agents.
Okay.
So
beyond that,
I just want them to grow. I want us all to grow as one team, to be unified, to succeed. Like everyone to be happy where they're at in their own business. Because the way that I have my team set up, yeah, we're working for Tucker. Yeah, they're on the smalling group, but I let them run their own thing.
yeah.
As long as they're meeting the minimum standard, I'm cool. Like I don't micromanage. I don't babysit them. Literally, I have some team members that I don't even have to hear from because I know they're out doing what they need to be doing. Like I don't need to be in the office. What are you doing today? Like they know what to do,
Right.
Especially the seasoned, experienced ones, the ones that are hustling. But it's the newer agents that I have because this last year I took on a handful of newer, younger agents. Totally different ballgame than what I've been used to. So that's another reason why for this year, for 2024, I'm kind of settling in.
Mm-hmm.
And
how's that been different?
personalities, just the younger generation is totally different than the seasoned agents that we have in the business today. A lot of them want to do a ton of social
Yeah.
and not make phone calls.
Right. That's true. How are you managing them differently?
I'm
helping
trying to get them to understand that the real estate market is shifting and that they are going to have to start picking up their phone and making phone calls. You can't just do fun stuff on TikTok and on social. Like you have to work on your business. You have to follow up with your leads, be intentional on your lead follow-up and prospecting. Farming, I literally buy 1,000 postcards for each team member to farm however they want to, whenever they want to. Like I have plans and systems in place for the agents to succeed. And the only reason why they wouldn't is if they literally are not putting in any work. So I would like to focus on the team members that I have now. Now, if I have a seasoned agent that comes along, by all means, I'll talk to you. But I'm not looking for like Tucker, hey, we have a new agent that wants to be on a team. I personally am not going to, unless someone says, hey, she would be a really good fit on your team.
Right.
Hey, you need to talk to her. I'll talk to anybody, but if I don't think it's like, hey, a good fit, I'm not going to grow the team that way.
Yeah.
Because I really want to focus on their business and help them succeed because I want to keep them on the team
Yes.
and not go somewhere else, which I know anyone could go at any time.
It's always a thought that,
Always.
you got to keep that front of mind.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So do you think you'll retire from real estate ever, or you'll be like a lifer that's gonna
My husband just asked me this last week. He's like, where do you see yourself 5-10 years? Like, when are we going to retire? He's like, I would sell my business tomorrow if I could. And I'm like, would you really though? Like, what would we do? Now, I'm a beach bum. I love to go to the beach. My dream job, fun fact, would be to be one of those people on the beach to put out the beach chairs.
I don't think you'd like that for very long. You got to be sitting on the chair than messing around with dragging them out.
Yeah, but they like hang out in the little tiki hut and like talk to
Okay.
people and yeah. So that's my dream job. I did love waitressing. I will be honest with that.
That's because you like the hustle.
Yes, but working at the bank was boring to me.
There's
But I
not as
also was
much
doing
hustling.
schoolwork at the same time, so I was just like, okay, we'll make this work. But I love what I do so much that I wouldn't do any other job, for real.
And why would you at this point?
Exactly. But once my kids, so I'm working obviously every day and hustling so that my kids have a good education for the future too. So college accounts, whatever, trying to help them. Did they know about it? No, and I don't want them to know about it. I had to pay for my school every dime and not taking any grants, loans, nothing.
529, is that what you mean?
Yes. So we have those all set up for the kids. We want to set them up for success, but we also have taught them to be hard workers in the sports that they're doing, the schoolwork that they're doing, everything. But I want to have fun. Like if Paxton ends up playing football, like I want to go to his games
Yeah.
in college and stuff. So that would be my
The flexibility.
yes. But we have like rentals and stuff. I essentially would love to get some rentals on beachfront.
Okay.
So, because I love the beach so much.
Like Florida or where?
Florida, yeah.
Okay. You go to Florida much?
Like 5 times a year.
Where?
Like north, like Panama City, Destin.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go south, but that would be more of like the family trip,
Okay.
stuff.
So we're not going to be retiring anytime soon.
No.
Well, I think you have a pretty good chance of reaching your goal of getting the top 3.
I'm hoping.
And
I'm
maybe,
praying.
maybe even higher.
So we'll see. You have to keep watching.
I'm going to keep watching.
So if I can get everybody on board on my team to hustle and grind like me.
Well, you're right earlier when you said they'll never be like
I know.
That just doesn't happen.
I know.
But it sounds like they're coming along.
Yes, but if I can coach and help and push a little bit, I think that maybe we'll be top 2.
Or higher.
So, yeah. We have to find a niche, like higher price points, more buyer sellers.
Well, how are you staying in touch with past clients? What's your past client or
So
client follow-up plan?
we do events. We also send out mailers once a month. I do not have a drip campaign set up on Close yet.
Okay.
I did, but we switched system to Close, and I haven't got that set up yet. But just Christmas cards, birthday cards, all the things. I do handwritten notes. I do all that, old school, some of it.
Yeah.
But I literally, social media. I'm
That
talking to
helps.
people, top of mind, all of that.
Yeah.
A lot of our business is referrals.
Yeah.
Open house, Zillows, and referrals. I would say probably 80% is past client referrals.
80% of your business,
Yep, we tracked it last year,
including the team members?
including the team members.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And particularly if you have a lot coming in from Zillow.
So, but the Zillow, though, that's online leads. Like, you have to
Yeah.
convert those. They don't know you.
True.
So those are a little bit harder to love on.
Right.
But that's where I tell them the consistency is all in the follow-up.
How often are you picking up the phone
Who, me?
and calling past clients just to check in or talk to them?
Every once in a while. Like,
Okay.
we'll have call nights and stuff, and I'll do those on call nights. But a lot of my friends, family, and clients I go to church with.
Right. So you're...
Or their family, friends, or whatever. Or we make friends. Like, in this business, you become friends with your clients, especially if you work with them for so long, a couple months or whatever. And they're referring me to people. Like, we've had just people that are like our top fans on social media that will refer us all day long. I love on them too. I'll send them stuff. So, but Colts magnets, all the things, we do all that. So, and I pay for that stuff for my team too.
You sound like a good team leader.
I try to
great
be.
team
I
leader.
try, but sometimes I just feel like, you know
What?
me. I'm just
Well, yeah. So when you're thinking about
like, what can I do more to be better?
Yeah.
If you tell me, I'll do it. Like I told Donna, I'm like, you tell me a game plan on how I can get higher price point and can get in Cinder Grove quick, I'll do it.
I think a big part of that is making connections with people that own higher priced homes, those types of people.
Right.
And just whether it's joining an institution or an organization where you're going to meet those people. It could be a country club. It
Right.
could be private schools. It could be anything where you're going to meet just people with higher
Right.
income.
No, I agree. But there's a lot of good agents in Cinder Grove. Like
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of big time agents.
Well, no, you have plenty of competition. How are you
So.
competitive?
Oh, you don't even know.
I think I do. It was a
yeah,
rhetorical
I'm
question.
very competitive.
How did you hurt your shoulder? It was sports related,
yeah.
basically? And what
Volleyball
sport?
and cheer.
Okay.
So
So you've always been competitive.
always.
I'm competitive too.
So I can see that too.
But I also, it's fun
Yeah.
for me. I don't take it too seriously. I just like to have fun.
Yeah, I do that too. Don't get me wrong. But just recently, I had a relocation listing. Obviously, I knew I was competing. And I went in, we hit it off. Like, it was great. I literally thought I got the listing. Well, come to find out, heard on Friday, you didn't get it. What? And I always, if I didn't get a listing, I will reach out to the seller and say, hey, is there something that I could have done better? Because I want to know why you didn't choose me. Was it because of
Absolutely.
commission? Was it because you just didn't like me? Or was I not, like, the best? Like, tell me why. But they basically said that they wanted to stay loyal with the agent that had just sold them the home a year and a half ago. So it wasn't even that long. And they wanted to stay loyal and true to that agent. And they felt like that's what they had to do.
Well, the fact that they even gave you a chance is pretty incredible, considering unless they were dissatisfied before.
No, so Relo, you have to interview 2 people. It is something that Relo makes you do.
Gotcha.
So I pretty much was one of those consolation things where I had to come in.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we hit it off, but they're like, we feel like we need these. But that kind of like losing against something like that, I'm like, okay, that's
You
fair.
can respect the loyalty.
Yes, because if that was me on the other side, I get it. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I was hurt for just a split second, and then I'm okay.
Well, with your competitive nature and your systems and your sparkling personality, I think you have a great chance of reaching the very tip top. But you're already at the top, so who cares? But regardless, Lindsey, it's been such a great
Thank you.
time getting to know you.
You've been awesome.
Well, you're amazing.
And your crew.
They're pretty good, too.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you.